You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Phosphorate, in partnership with Nexans and Siemens, brings to you Jamaica's largest electrical expo, and Business Access is here today for a two-part coverage. I'm your host, Amita Prasad-Webb, and thank you for tuning in. Please stay tuned for highlights.
Phosphorate, I think it's becoming a great company for a lot of Jamaicans. We started just about 25 years ago when we had only 2 persons.
So why an electrical expo now?
Why not? An electrical expo now is because Jamaica needs to understand that there are technology out there that can bring a lot of value and savings to the Jamaican construction industry. And so we need to, one, get that knowledge that we have with our partners to the consultants, to the contractors, the engineers, and even the schools, the educational institutions, so they can now start building this kind of a energy-saving efficiency in their project. You see, it's important to note that you can buy a light bulb, which is fantastic. You can buy an LED tube, which is fantastic. We all sell those. But that will save you so much and no more. But if you build from your consulting base, from when you're building your project, you're designing your project, you build in the energy-saving systems, then you can save so much more. We have decided to have these workshops, and we have decided to invite youngsters. We have a group from UTech, from Caribbean Maritime University, from Hart Training Institution. We have a couple more training institutions, and I think the number I have of them coming here today is maybe 150 of them in total. And they are being taught how these products work. Some of these products they would have heard about by reading books or whatever it is and so on, but now they can see them, they can feel them, and they can touch them. And that's what we are bringing to Jamaica today.
Picture this grand ballroom without lights, from the beautiful chandeliers, this stage without the use of this microphone, your factory spaces without pumps and conveyor belts, your homes without refrigerators. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Well, all of what you have just imagined yourself without has been made possible by electricity. And that is what we celebrate today at this, the inaugural Electrical Expo, being presented by Phosphorate Company Limited and their partners Nexans and Siemens.
And on that note, we take a short break, but more when we return.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall,
unsecured loans,
alleged corruption,
follows the closure.
If they made this investment,
brokers
strive to increase revenues.
He sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final numbers. Here's Garth, News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale, Saturdays and Sundays.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's join our presenter on stage.
I am standing here and I'm looking at a group of people and I'm seeing the future. And I'm saying this is exactly what we want to influence, the future. You look very well and we are very happy to have you here this morning. This Expo 2018 features industrial electrical products. As you know, Fosrich is in 3 or 4 segments of the electrical market. And today, this morning, we are featuring the electrical industrial product offerings that we bring to you from Fosrich. This expo also includes exhibitions and workshops. So what you will see around you are products that we do offer here at Fosrich. And then we will have workshops throughout the day at various locations, maybe 4 locations. We'll have workshops where you can ask your questions and you can get answers for whatever you are interested in. We have a responsibility, we think, to bring the best innovation in products that meet the need of the market in Jamaica, and that's why we are here. We will also demonstrate how these innovations can positively impact the building, construction, and the energy sectors of our country. For example, today Siemens will display some of their serious innovation products. A number of drives and contactors, and there is also a very, very interesting launch that will take place by the Siemens team today. The first time this product will be launched in this side of the world will be launched here in our expo. And so the soft starter workshop is one that I think a lot of the engineers and technical persons can't miss. So we are looking forward to that from the Siemens team. We are partnering to bring great results to Jamaica. And so we create strength, we enhance knowledge, and we drive towards results as partners. And so this expo is a way of showing you that this partnership is something that can do what we've said, create strength, exchange knowledge, and drive towards results. We are offering what we call a one-point of contact solution for your projects. If you have your projects, you can bring your projects to FostRich. We can help you to design your projects. We can supply the goods for your project, and we will do vendor financing for your projects. If it's too big, then this is why we have our financial partners here. Partnership again. And so we will make the connection so we can help you to achieve your project goals. So please, bring your projects to us. We can do what we say we can do. We are willing to work with you.
FostRich has been one of the leaders in promoting and supplying LED lamps for domestic and commercial applications. We need to have energy-efficient workspaces. And I'll tell you a little about what we are doing at King's House. In King's House, we have started the process to become more energy efficient. Last year, we changed out all incandescent bulbs to LED. This has been done for all our exterior lamps and floodlights, as well as interior ceilings and wall light fixtures. Whenever air-conditioned units have to be changed, they are replaced with inverter units. All of the new kitchen and laundry appliances have Energy Star rating. Our computers and other office equipment go into energy safe mode when they are not in use. Stickers and posters are prominently displayed in offices to remind staff to be energy conscious. Solar panels are installed on the roof of the main building, and the garden lamps are also solar powered. 4 years ago, the Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, MSTEM, applied tinted window film to the panes and windows in the main building and the administration block. This has helped to reduce cooling costs in the buildings. These initiatives have resulted in significant savings in our electricity bills. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that householders, persons in the building and construction industry, the electric companies, power producers, civil society in general, and the government have acknowledged and are very aware of the importance of energy efficiency and renewable energy in reducing energy costs. This will bolster the economy and contribute to a healthier environment. I hope that the exhibition and workshops at this expo will expose the Jamaican market to the innovative products that FostRich can offer through its international partnerships. If last year's expo is anything to go by, participants will be in for an eye-opening exhibition of products and informative workshops as the company celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. It is with great pleasure, therefore, that I declare Electrical Expo 2018 open. Thank you.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights when we return.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV. Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa-la-la-la-la? 60 advertising spots, 10 fraud spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On Point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's Season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Thanks for staying with us. If you are just joining us, we are here at the Electrical Expo. Please stay tuned for more highlights. Speak to us about feedback on the ground. What are you hearing from people?
Well, what I'm hearing from persons on the ground, it is very, very overwhelming. We're happy about it. A lot of persons are happy that Foster has partnered with Siemens, one of the largest and oldest company in regards to electrical controls, motors. They're a long staple for anybody who's been the old school engineers know what Siemens is. And it's a German-based company that we've brought here. And in our partnership, we are able to literally bring the first world, the newest technology here to Jamaica. And through our partnership, we are also able to build out, help persons to build out on any industrial, commercialized project that they would want to need. But these are the part of the projects that you don't see. You see a large building going up, a large hotel going up, a large manufacturing going up. They are the back-end stuff, but it keeps everything going. And through their partnership, a lot of persons are very happy. You have some legacy Siemens stuff that's out there. We are also now able to help persons who've had Siemens long time ago and want to upgrade. Because you know that what's happening in industries, every industry, one of the buzzword is energy efficiency. And in efficiency, it means that your old equipment needs to now become new and efficient. And Siemens has a retrofit for their older legacy products. And so we're able now to help persons who had these projects working for years and are able to now get themselves current through those savings. The partnership with Nexans, the second largest cable manufacturer in the world, is mean that what we're bringing is high quality cable to Jamaica at Jamaican prices, and we're able to have not just the fact that we can provide it, but we have such large stocks that we can provide any size project that you want to do. As I said, the cabling is the thing that you never see. It's buried underground or it's overhead. You know, forget about it. But it is really what moves us. All our power that comes from a utility comes through cabling, just to show you how important it is. And we do from residential cables up to what we're talking about today, the higher cables, the SVA cables, XLP cables. Now those may sound like French words for your acronyms, but those cables are very important. Cables that can operate in salt type conditions. So if you're doing, say you're doing a hotel or a guest house, 4 or 5 hotels on the north coast, and you're doing work on towards the sea and you have your building set up there, you have special cables that can operate in that kind of climate. Jamaica is is a large country, but it's a very small island. And in such, as you go out a couple of miles, you're already at the coast. So you are affected by salt content in your air. So the zero halogen cable is one of the things that we're talking a lot about. One of the issues that in a lot of times that there are fires, most times before the persons get burnt to death. Let's talk about it from that side. They're affected by the fumes. The fumes first is what kills. And those fumes are really, a lot of times, from the cabling, the electrical cables that are in the homes, the old type cables, they bring off a fume that fume can hurt you. The zero halogen cable are cables now that has that all reduced, and that cable is also able to take a longer time for you to get affected by those fumes. So you have a little bit of a chance that you can probably get to run out of the building before the fumes have totally affected you. And so, as I said, Nexans is a French company. So Fossilge went to Europe. We went to Europe, and we got 2 of the biggest powerhouses in Europe to partner with. We've also partnered with GE through Current, and Philips. We're doing a lot of LED lighting. So all of the current LED lighting that you're seeing, you see our utilities are changing out the street lights. After we did Sabina Park and lit Sabina Park, Fossilge as a company said, hey, guess what? If we can bring this value to Jamaica, even as a simple sporting event, we are saying that let's bring it everywhere. Let's bring it to your homes, let's bring it to your offices, your factories. And one of the biggest things for commercialization, what's happening, we're looking at a lot of industrial parks. There are a lot of footprints that have been set out, and that we're going to have industrial parks being built all over Jamaica, right? So to get to that concept, you have to have the building, you have to have the space, but then you also have the resources in regards to the power behind you, which is the cabling and the control panels and so forth. So that's basically where we are. We have a wonderful expo today. We have a lot of persons here, and they're very odd. Siemens just launched their new motor control soft start system. It is, if anybody who's out there who has not come down yet, it is really what they need to come and see. It is just phenomenon. I mean, I've seen a couple of the big powerhouse players come in, and they went into the seminar, and they're very, very happy and surprised of the capacity. Everything is just at a fingertip. You can get alerts through your phones. Smartphones is not just for just surfing the social media. It is also a work tool, and you can literally be anywhere in the world and you know exactly what's happening in your factory or your industry. And protection and efficiency, one of the things that affected us in our industrialization in Jamaica had to do with, we took a lot of time to modernize the older factories, and so a lot of them died. What we're talking about now is bringing that kind of modernization, because in most instances we know that our high utility bills is what is one of the factor that pulls down our capacity to be able to produce and challenge everybody else in the region. So we have to be very smart, and to be smart, you have to start saving. And you already have the footprint. You need the pumps, you need the motors, you need all of this industrial equipment, but you also need to know to do it smartly. And it says it's better to work smarter, not harder. And that's what Fossilge is doing, bringing the smart technology, so your equipment is not working harder, but is working smarter. It's also with the efficiency, it also now reduces your downtime. And another thing that where we lose a lot in our productions are downtime. No manufacturing in Jamaica now can afford a 1 hour downtime. 1 hour downtime, you have staff that's sitting there doing nothing. You have production capacity that you can't make up, because if you are to make 100,000 metric tons of something for the day, and you've lost half of the day, you physically can't make that 100,000 metric tons again. So those are some things that, after a day has gone, you can't get it back. Well, it's the same thing. After you've lost the opportunity to produce, you cannot make it up. You're only going to use up opportunity that you'd have had for the next day. And, you know, we want to thank you and Business Access and your listeners and your watchers to come in, you know, thank you for being here and to be able to share this moment with us here at Fosrich. What most persons know in Jamaica are breakers and panels. And if you're in the industry, we have I think some samples of some of the Siemens products that we stock. Now, we have a wide range of breakers that we literally keep in our stock. We have molded case circuit breakers, and these ranges from as low as 15 amps up to 1,000 amps. Now, these are what you're using in your various power line panels, your disconnect switches for your generators, and these are available in various wattages and various amperage and voltage based on the capacity. Different lug connections. There are different types that are available. We have the Siemens lines of these are their transformers, and we do the full range. We stock anywhere from 5 to 40 kVA transformers in various voltage scenarios, 415, 440 volt. These push button controls are the new design, new type that are available. They are available for all industry application, and we're talking about push button switches that can operate in oiled type environment, harsh industry. These here can operate underwater, so you know your wet, damp locations. You can have your start, stops, various switches. We have different key type scenarios where you can set up to give different application or different authorization to persons who are able to turn these off. Push button switches in all various push starts. This is one of the things that is big for Siemens, and for industries. You want hard, robust switches. The worst thing is to have your product, your plant go down because a switch to start the product is now down because it can't manage the rugged environment. The versatility for Siemens is that we have switches and push buttons and control switches for any application that you have available. In continuing with the Siemens line of products, this is a staple in any industrial application, any large electrical application. These are industrial P-line panels. I think affectionately most persons just call all of these panels power line panels, and we have available in stock at Fosrich from P1, which is power line 1, down to a power line 5. You know, these panels are able to operate even in outdoor applications, so you can have your large electrical cables come through into these panels.
And that brings us to the end of part 1 of our 2-part coverage of the Electrical Expo. I've been your host, Amita Prasadweb, and thank you for tuning in to Business Access TV, serious about business.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life surrounds art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but 4 walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
It's another exciting Wednesday here on your favorite local program, and we're so happy you could join us for yet another insightful edition. As always, we have a lot planned for you, so join us as we bring you word from our farmers and share developments taking place in the tourism sector. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is Jamaica Magazine. Do stay with us.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica. Original.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, November 7. Jamaica will repay 90% of its debt to the Export-Import Exim Bank of China within 10 years' time. That's the assurance coming from Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke. He asserts that 99% of the loans secured from China up to September 2018 are at fixed interest rates of between 2 and 3%. These, he says, are among the lowest interest rates in the country's loan portfolio.
The national debt of Jamaica is 2 trillion Jamaican dollars as at September 2018. And loans from China represent a mere 3.9% of that total, a very small share.
Dr. Clarke has also committed the government to reducing the country's debt by introducing rules that enhance the island's fiscal responsibility framework.
Our debt reduction strategy has been anchored around a primary surplus target of 60% debt to GDP by the financial year 2025-26. And we are on track to meet that target. In fact, we are slightly ahead.
The finance minister was speaking recently at the Latin Finance Third Caribbean Finance and Investment Forum in Kingston. In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is appealing to our nation's youth to reject violence and the Don culture that has taken root in communities across the island. According to Mr. Holness, the youth need to be empowered to help Jamaica shed its place from the list of most murderous countries in the world. This, he says, can be done by increasing cooperation between citizens and the police.
It has to start with this generation, with you saying no more of that. The Dons are illegitimate, they are evil, corrupt, and we must get them out of our society. The gang members, we must get them out of our society. They must have no protection in their community. They are not Robin Hoods. They have not served us. They are criminals. That's what they are, and that's what we must call them.
The Prime Minister was at a rap session with students of Penwood High School in St. Andrew on Tuesday. He gave a commitment to stamp out corruption in the police force by finding and removing officers who associate with Dons. Still on youth issues, the local government ministry will be constructing a 2-bedroom house for the family of the teen boy who garnered public attention last week due to his lack of a birth certificate. Raheem Powell has not attended school for over 4 years due to lack of finances and being without the certificate. His family was visited by a team from the Poor Relief Department and the Social Development Commission, which found that their living condition was below standard. In addition, his younger brother is seldom at school.
We will undertake all the expenses that will be associated for his education, along with his brother. We are making all the arrangements. I've been in touch with Minister Floyd Green to ensure that we get Raheem registered in the program to assist him in upgrading his education.
Raheem participated in the recent Local Government and Community Development Month's National Road Race.
For a young man to come forward, knowing his shortcomings, and to participate in a national event, And even as I speak, he's wearing the medal that he received when he participated in the race. This is what patriotism is all about. This is what depicts a true Jamaican. And it is the least that the government can do.
Minister McKenzie says the aim is to get the families home ready by the new year. Jamaican decorative paints have been found to be virtually lead-free. This was one of the findings from a recent study conducted between July and September, which analyzed lead in solvent-based paints in Jamaica. It was conducted by the Caribbean Poison Information Network, CARPIN, in collaboration with a number of international partners. Poison Information Coordinator at CARPIN, Sherika Whitelock Balin Singh, says the study showed lead content below 90 parts per million, the maximum allowable limit on lead in paint in the United States of America and Canada. 36 paint brands were analyzed, and only one brand of yellow automotive industrial paint imported into the island from the United States was found to contain 1,500 times the maximum allowable limit. While the results are overall encouraging, Mrs. Whitelock Balin Singh is warning that paint is a major source of childhood lead poisoning.
When we use paint, children are at risk, and the workers who use the paints are at risk. Ingesting paint chips can be especially harmful, since the lead content can be higher than what is typically found in our ordinary dust and in our soil.
The Poison Information Coordinator was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. And finally, the Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ's Falmouth office is now open to the public at its new location at Lot 5 Cornwall Street. Work on the facility started in January 2017, and it was officially opened on Tuesday. All services previously offered at Falmouth's old home continue to be available at the new location. The 4,000 square feet, $157 million property features several amenities designed for greater comfort and efficiency. TAJ will also be piloting its new automated queue management system at the Falmouth office. The system is designed to significantly improve customer traffic management and is expected to become a recurrent feature of tax offices across the island in the long term. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Hear this. Youth, older people, mature people, anyone who is listening right now, don't wait for extraordinary moments. Seize small opportunities and make them great. I've learned that through this experience. So if you have an idea, there's something that you want to do and you have not sought out an avenue, trust me, the time is now. Get it done.
So how much do you know about the Irish potato planting program? Here's a look at the work being done to grow the agricultural sector.
We have the temperature, we have the good soil, we have experienced farmers, we have the technical staff from RADA. So we decided to, instead of we import table potato, we decided to import the seed. And that's where the program started. We go across the island in the Irish potato growing area, and we conduct what is known as potato sensitization meeting, where we give the farmers a theoretical experience of what is expected of them, how to grow, how to take care of your Irish, and the ultimate return. For this season, we have conducted 18 sensitization meetings, and over 4,000 farmers have attended these meetings.
The National Potato Program is good for the country, it's good for us. And I believe the government should continue. At the sensitization thing that I went at Christiana, it was good to know that the government was in the act of actually assisting farmers and providing a way where farmers can get loan or same way they can get potato assistance. What I get there was when the minister asks us, the farmers, say if you plant 1 acre last year, try and plant 2 acres this year in order to build Jamaica. So that is my goal.
Rather help us with seed and fertilizer. We plant whatever we get and try to take care of it with the chemicals they assist us with and the fertilizer, and with that going we get a good result.
The yield has been great, hence our life actually improved by the yield that we get. And from that crop, we are able now to purchase our own potato seeds for the spring crop.
The RADA officers tell us how to prepare land, when to start to prepare land, because the preparation is really key to this Irish potato thing, you know. So you start prepare from early, and by seeds come, all land supposed to finish plow by that, and just ready to maybe cut your drills and plant.
With land preparation, we encourage farmers to prepare the land ahead of time. We usually recommend 2 to 3 months, and in heavier soils like clay soil, we recommend like up to 4 months. Spray at least once weekly and spray preventatively. However, when the conditions become more moist, we encourage them to spray at least twice per week, or the spray period becomes shorter. We encourage the farmers to scout the field twice per week at least. They can do it more, and they'll pick up on the different pests and diseases. Some of the diseases that affect Irish potato would be like blight. We have early blight, that's Alternaria, and late blight, Phytophthora.
In 2008, Jamaica was producing only 30% of the Irish being consumed. Today we are producing over 90% of our national demand.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
The Ministry of Tourism recently embarked on a gastronomic event. Get the highlights now.
The Ministry of Tourism hosted a gastronomic evening recently in observation of UN World Sustainable Gastronomy Day. Gathered were food professionals and a few heads of missions based in Jamaica on the east lawns of Devon House in St. Andrew.
Tourism then embraces gastronomy as a major platform for its development and growth. We have invited our diplomatic partners from all across countries that relate to us to indulge with us in an element of gastronomy diplomacy.
What you have today is an offering, it's called a beef hoikikos. It's beef bones, stewing bones with some fatty pieces, so your brisket, your shin, you've got carrots, butternut, pumpkin, and you've got a dumpling submerged into the gravy itself. It's cooked over open fire.
Thailand is just like Jamaica in so many ways. We grow the same fruits and vegetables in Jamaica that are grown in Thailand. Instead of using Scotch bonnet though, they use a hotter like chili pepper. So we have rice noodles, which are flat and have no taste. But when you put it in a dish and you put lots of different spices and chili pepper, then you taste what a dish should taste like. And it's like a one-pot meal.
Very popular. Very popular. Like here with the patties. Normally when we organize some party or reception and we serve this could disappear in less than 5 minutes. Huh?
Present the rundown cocktail.
I enjoyed it. I was a little bit, I was going to say skeptical, but I'd say curious with the addition of the mackerel, but actually it was quite lovely.
The food lovers were also treated to a gastronomic delight as Ministers Olivia Grange and Edmund Bartlett prepared a unique meal with help from culinary experts.
So we're adding the coconut milk. Alright, so we're cooking our first batch. So we're adding in some yam. And a cheese basket. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
The Tourism Linkages Network is transforming Jamaica into a gastronomy destination with local flavor and a dash of international spice.
It's always beautiful in Jamaica. Everything usually be green and pretty. We have beautiful water. Temperature that is normal temperature. The water never cold. We've been into business for about 13 years. JUSC-COOL. Just Cool. It's spelled with 3 0. We make 3 different types of pudding. We make potato, we make cornmeal, and we make toto. This is the cornmeal, okay? That's actually almost the last process. What he's gonna do now, he's gonna put a gel on top. Within no time, we have to take it off because the gel give it a nice face. We have the people like Shelley and Fraser came here. We have, you know, you could name the biggest artists, Shabba Ranks, name them all. Being the Man, they all come here and buy their pudding. This is what we grew up on. Now, when the people come to Jamaica, everybody, as soon as they land off the plane, this is where they come. They want to taste this pudding because it brings them back to the old days. The long time days when they was kids growing up and they used to sit on the fire and watch their mama, their grandmother bake the pudding. We try not to change off our roots, we try to keep it that way. And not only that, we have a lot of love because we're all about love.
Watch now as the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Floyd Green, and local chefs prepare healthy and tasty meals for children in state care.
The Child Protection and Family Services Agency recently paid a visit to the Glen Hope Nursery and Place of Safety in Kingston with one mission in mind: to treat the children to a yummy, colorful, and balanced breakfast.
What we would have done today is one, come in, participate, show how we can use still low-cost, low-budget solutions, but present it in such a way that the children are very excited about it. Then you would have seen their faces, you would have seen how they've enjoyed it. And part of what we're doing is ensuring that we infuse a healthy diet. So we have our fruits in the mix so that our children, while eating things that they like, they're also eating things that they need to eat.
But the junior minister and representatives from the Child Protection and Family Services Agency did not travel to Maxfield Avenue alone, and for good reason.
We've enlisted the support of Jackie Tyson, one of our very well-known chefs, and we are working with her throughout our child protection system to see how we can make our meals more exciting, more enticing for our children while keeping it healthy. This is part of a bigger project which we're taking right across our homes. We're having Jackie go into our kitchens, work with our chefs, help them to do the same things but in different ways. We're also looking to upgrade our kitchen facilities right across our system, and we're doing this for both public and private homes. And we would have started this mission from last year, where what we're doing, bringing in the experts to look at things like decor, color, how does it make the child feel, and definitely nutrition.
And what's the message that the ministry hopes to convey in carrying out this mission?
One of the things that is important for everybody to know, children in homes that have parents and children who have come into our care, that really there's no difference between our children. The only difference is the circumstance that they would have endured. Our children are different. All of them require patience, love, understanding.
I love waking up every day in this country. This is where I was born and raised. I have such a passion for my country, and for me this is home. In Jamaica, a lot of people, they look at just like beach, sea, sand, but our mountains are something to behold. It's majestic up there, and it's a different type of peace. It's a different type of lifestyle completely. I could mention many different places that are amazing, but the one thing I do love about Jamaica as well is that you can find that relaxation, you can find that chill in your backyard. Apart from it being an incredibly beautiful country, an incredibly beautiful island, we have a wonderful, wonderful culture, wonderful, vibrant, colorful people. There is definitely a realness to Jamaica. There's definitely something that no matter what keeps you in touch with reality here. Why come to Jamaica? It all comes back down to Jamaica as a whole. The food, the music, the culture, the people, the climate. Come out and meet us, come out and experience what Jamaica has to offer.
So in today's Hear This, we bring you an interesting fact about this day, November 7, in the history of our country. On November 7, 1962, Carol Joan Crawford took home the Miss World title for Jamaica. Now, this was just a few months after our island gained independence, and standing 5'3" tall, the then 20-year-old became the first Jamaican to hold the title. The competition that year was held in London, and her return to Jamaica after the historic win called for celebrations right across the island. In addition to postal stamps being issued with her image on them, she was also given a key to the city of Kingston. There is so much more to these stories and our history overall, so do some research and read up on our island home. You'd be amazed at what you find. It's our historical foundation that will help to push sweet, sweet Jamaica into becoming the place of choice.
Speeding through life and the traffic lights till somebody get hurt and the tears start cry. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives. Make the road safe whether day or night, for pedestrians, passengers, cars and bikes. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives.
Hey man, it's our job to keep the road them safe. I protect care of the youth them so we know them safe. And obey the road code, don't race. No bother with the speeding, cause make face. And check your light them and your tires and brakes. Riders and the pillions who left the helmet. I put on the cell phone, no send no text. No matter what color they on your plate.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, better listen.
Everybody drive good and walk good. Then teach the youth them how to cross good. I beg you obey the road signs, park good. And put the young ones in a car seats, all good. And everybody drive good and walk good. And we say young and old, I beg you cast good. Remember the dark clothes at night, that is hard good. From you I use up the sidewalk, it's all good.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, when you're on the road.
And this is where we'll have to leave you for today's show. But do join us again tomorrow for what promises to be another informative edition. If you missed anything at all from today's program, watch it all again on our website or our YouTube page. And don't forget, keep up with us via our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's Season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
On this episode of Wealth Magazine Business Access, we get to hear from the President and CEO of the Victoria Mutual Group, Courtney Campbell. Taking us on a trek down memory lane, Campbell identifies how faith, discipline, and leadership were a part of his core from a young age, qualities that would later prove vital as he excelled in corporate Jamaica. Campbell also shares his plans to use his extensive experience in the industry to revolutionize the VM Group, making it even more customer-centric and competitive in the financial sector.
I'm Courtney Campbell, President and CEO of the Victoria Mutual Group. I'm a country boy. I was born in Chapelton, Clarendon, to Osmond and Carmen Campbell, two public servants. Grew up in a small family. Just my younger brother and myself with our parents over the years. Actually born on Mother's Day, I just think that's special, right? And so as the first child of my mother and being born on Mother's Day, I think is really cool. But we actually grew up in Kellits, Clarendon, North Clarendon. That's where my parents lived at the time. And childhood days were really fun. We spent holidays many times with our grandparents. My mother's father lived in Colonel's Ridge, which is North Clarendon, and my father's parents lived in Rock River, which is just about central Clarendon. They had farms, and it was really fun to be moving cattle in Rock River, for example, from one part of the pasture to the next. And, you know, we'd spend some time with our cousins there. But also, we had some really wonderful times just playing at home. And my father taught me cricket in the backyard, right? And we would use some improvised equipment, right? But we had really good time. I remember roasting corn, and then some really good family fun times traveling around the island. My father was a forest officer, so he had, I think, a good career with the Forestry Department in the Ministry of Agriculture. He would spend lots of time in the hills of St. Andrew, Portland, St. Thomas, but also based in Monique, St. Anne. And he would work from there, and also in the Bullhead Mountain area of North Clarendon. So he worked all over the island, you know, helping us to preserve our forests and to ensure that the environment was protected. My mother was a postmistress, and she worked at the Mona Post Office, Watermount, Kellits, and she ended her last few years in the service were at Watermount in St. Catherine. But my brother, Alistair, spent a lot of time with our diplomatic service. He was posted in Japan at one point, and of course in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here. He eventually left that to start a publishing business on his own, so he lives with his family now in Canada, right? But we spent, for school, we attended Kellits Primary. Right through our school life, whether it was in primary school or in high school, my parents really made some sacrifices for us. And you know, that was epitomized when we were in high school. So I attended Knox College, a boarding school, so we were boarders. And my father would leave home in Kellits to drive to Spalding to visit us on every weekend. Take talk for us, ensure that we're okay. So I found that although we were from humble circumstances, we're civil servants, children, we ended up, you know, helping other kids who were much better off with talk, you know, food supplies, and even lending them money, right? Some very wealthy kids, because we had to be so disciplined in how we were managing the little we had. They probably weren't forced to be as disciplined. So I did first form at Clarendon College. That's where I passed the common entrance for. My brother was at the junior school at Knox, you know, Knox Junior School, and my parents wanted us to be together. And so they made outreach to the principal and the vice principal of the high school, Mrs. Jones, Barbara Jones at the time, and she arranged for me to be transferred from Clarendon College to Knox. So I started Knox in second form, what they call at Knox Class 8, And it was a really great experience being at that school. And, you know, today, I'm so fond of Knox. I sit on the board now. What I was exposed to at the high school, I started to develop leadership skills and getting some leadership responsibilities. I was a prefect. Then you were involved in several other activities such as track and field. I started doing a little track. And of course, I played cricket for the school and represented the school in one chess match. I quite enjoyed. I got a good beating, but I quite enjoyed it. And then when doing A-levels at Knox, then we did A-levels at the community college, and that was a further, you know, experience to develop leadership skills. And we're involved in the student council there, and I was there at a canteen that was run by the students, so I was a canteen manager. But those A-level years were wonderful, developed some great friendships. So by the time we got to UWI in 1981 is when I started. I think we were well prepared for the course of study at the time. I actually joined university, was admitted to do hotel management, believe it or not, because that's what I thought I was passionate about at the time. Initially I wanted to do the law, probably 14, 15. By the time I ended A-levels, it was hotel management. I was dead set on managing a hotel. But during my first year, got some advice that the program that UWI had at the time for hotel management, which required us to start to the 1 year here and then the other 2 years in the Bahamas, that there were some challenges with the Bahamas leg of it. And so someone who was actually there advised me to try to switch to the straight management studies degree. And so I got the transfer into straight management studies and, you know, completed those studies in 1984. But again, my UWI experience was so much more than about the academics, right? It was about involvement in student leadership and in the other extracurricular activities. So I was manager of the football team, you know, for Chancellor Hall. I was an executive of the University and Colleges Christian Fellowship, the UCCF group on campus. I was treasurer for Chancellor Hall in my second year, and then in my final year, I was a deputy hall chairman for Chancellor Hall and a guild councillor. So, you know, if you think about it, when you combine the high school years with those years at university, lots of exposure to leadership, the ability to interact with persons from different backgrounds and different experiences, and living on campus, both in high school and university, would have given me some wonderful opportunities to develop my interpersonal skills as well and to develop a certain independence. So I think those were wonderful years that I cherish to this day. I had this combination in my heart of loving to deal with people as well as numbers, right? So I thought banking represented the perfect combination of numbers and people every day.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
I had this combination in my heart of loving to deal with people as well as numbers, right? So I thought banking represented the perfect combination of numbers and people every day, right? And so I applied to all the banks at the time, right? There's a few banks, but the commercial banks, those are the institutions that I submit. So I was interested in manufacturing, any other service industry, just banks. And I eventually landed a job at the bursary at the University of the West Indies right after graduation. But soon after that, started getting answers now from some of the banks, in NCB at the time, and also Citibank and so on. Eventually, by February of 1985, I started my career with National Commercial Bank, and I was to be there for 23 years. I joined as a graduate trainee. That was a program they had at the time. Some called it management trainee, some called it graduate trainee. The idea was that over 18 months, you would be exposed to most of the operations in a branch, right? You wouldn't be stuck in one area for 4 or 5 years, but you'd be exposed in 8-week stints or 4-week stints of different desks in the branch. And once you were successful in that program over 18 months, you would then become a supervisor, which was a big deal at the time. Many university graduates, went on that program. Not all did well, right? And for different reasons, but I had a successful program. And so I became a supervisor at that branch, and Matilda's Corner it was. I started during that period the associateship for the Chartered Institute of Bankers, so it's called the ACIB, which really, because at UWI, they would not have gone into details of banking. It was very general. But, one piece of advice that I had received when I was being interviewed for the job is that if you really want to do banking as a career, it made sense for you to do those professional banking exams. One of the things I have always been committed to was excellence. Whatever I was doing, I was going to be very, very good at it, right? I would take home the simplest tasks when I was learning them on the counter, right? And I would practice, right? Using sample transactions, I would practice them at home, and to ensure that when I returned the following day doing the real stuff, that, it was well done and very efficiently done. And so, I remember early days when I was in the foreign exchange department doing some complex traveler's checks transactions that, one customer said, I have never been served so quickly with this type of transaction. I really set high standards for myself. I was transferred from the branch into corporate division, which was unusual at the time because the corporate division was really for the cream of the crop in terms of credit analysts, so they would pull most in fact, all of the account executive assistants from the credit department at head office. And I was, at the time, from what I can recall, the first to leave a branch and to go directly to corporate. I really threw myself into that work. And so by the time NCB in the mid-90s established an investment bank and wanted someone from their ranks to work in that small team, Mr. James, Rex James, as the managing director, asked me to do that. And it was a great privilege. So I joined together with a couple of other guys, and we started what was then called National Mutual Investments. So I had moved from retail banking in a branch to corporate banking to then investment banking. And that was a time when lots of investment banking activity in Jamaica was going on, and in the mid-90s. I spent 3 years there. I think we achieved some of the objectives, or most of the objectives that we had set out. So at the end of that 3-year period, though, I felt that I really now wanted to be on my own. So I spoke with the head of HR at the time, Audrey Basanta Henry, and when an opportunity came up, I was offered the opportunity to be the branch manager in Mandeville. And what a wonderful experience that was, right? Leading my own team there, but wonderful customers in that part of the island, and a great team. And to this day, I have solid friendships that were developed in those 3 years in Mandeville. My family moved to Mandeville. We worshipped at Ridgemount United Church in Mandeville. We were really part of the community. And you know, when we returned to Kingston 2 or 3 years later, it was really a very emotionally difficult time for us, but because we thoroughly enjoyed that time. I returned to Kingston to take up the role of head of retail banking. So in 2008, I transitioned from NCB to First Global Holdings Limited, as a subsidiary of Grace Kennedy. And you know, I'd enjoyed my time at NCB. I had some wonderful colleagues, some great bosses in Patrick Hilton and Dennis Cohen. Really enjoyed working with them, and of course the chairman, Michael Leachin. But I believe that at that point of my career, I wanted something more in terms of broader responsibilities. And yes, I was leading the largest business division there, but it was at the end of the day a division of the bank. And the question is, you know, as I looked through to the rest of my career, was it going to be sufficiently fulfilling for me to be just chasing more profits each year? And I felt that I could do a little more. And so this opportunity at Grace Kennedy came up to lead the banking and investments division, First Global Holdings Limited, and you know, I was happy to take that up. You know, I believe that at the time I thought that, you know, it's more than leading that business, just being mentored by someone like Douglas O'Rian was going to be a great opportunity as well, and so I accepted that offer and started in July 2008. I think it worked wonderfully. And, you know, so I had 8 great years there. That's another iconic Jamaican institution. So if you think about it, I've really been privileged. I've been blessed to have had exposure to executive leadership at NCB and Grace Kennedy, two of the iconic institutions in Jamaica. Soon after joining, that was July 2008, by February of 2009, I was asked to take responsibility for the entire financial services division. It was then called GK Investments. What we did then was operationalize a company called GK Financial Group. And so that really was the holding company for all the financial service businesses in Grace Kennedy, you know, cutting across 12 Caribbean territories, money services business, insurance, banking, investments. And I had a seat on the board of the parent company, Grace Kennedy Limited. And I would say to you that it was a rich experience, you know, just being exposed to world-class governance practices, decision-making in a conglomerate, capital allocation decisions. And we did, I believe, achieve a lot. There was pretty significant growth in the business over that time, and also some investments that will, you know, bear fruit in the future. And so just, you know, the opportunity to be involved in those was just invaluable, right? And again, building up some good relationships with some wonderful and talented, very, very talented people on the board and in the executive leadership team and right across Grace Kennedy. So the next step of phase of my life, so if you recall, 23 years at NCB, 1985 to 2008, then 8 years at Grace Kennedy, 2008 to 2016, right? And you know, this great opportunity comes up at Victoria Mutual Building Society. And thinking about this, you know, through the last few months of 2015, and saying that I'm enjoying my time at GK, at Grace. I'm really learning a lot and benefiting from great working relationships with everyone there. And the question is, how do I pull away, and why should I pull away from that to do this job at Victoria Mutual? And you know why I eventually decided to? The mission of Victoria Mutual. the mission that was behind the establishment in 1878. And that mission was a noble one that I think is still relevant today, because Victoria Mutual was established for the purpose of ensuring that ordinary Jamaicans, if you recall, this was 1878, 13 years after the Morant Bay Rebellion, 40 years after the abolition of slavery, land ownership and home ownership, were distant dreams for the ordinary people at the time. And so some clergymen decided that, using the model that they had seen working in the UK, where these building societies were being established and doing reasonably well, that model was viable in Jamaica as well. So, Reverend G.W. Dowan and some other clergymen decided that they would want to establish Victoria Mutual for that purpose and to help some ordinary people to get a breakthrough by virtue of just pooling their savings, right? And, granting home loans from that. And I've always been concerned about inequality in Jamaica. I don't believe any one institution can solve that, but I believe that each institution can be a point of light, right? We need several million points of light, but let me be one point of light, right? Or let my company, let my institution be one point of light. And so that is what attracted me to Victoria Mutual. We have this ambition that, 2 or 3 years out of university, you have a stable job, we should enable you to have a mortgage to open your own doors. That's the type of ambition that we're bringing to it. Because Jamaicans are ambitious people and we want to facilitate the ambition. So that is about how we structure our mortgage products and so on, right? And how early we encourage you to start meaningful saving, right? Because that's a goal we have. Now we're committed to mutuality. And mutuality really means that the customers are also the owners of the business. That's why we call them members, right? So they're not just a customer, they're members. It's their business. And we believe that diversity of business models is good for Jamaica. It's good to have a business in the financial sector that's strong. We are the 4th largest deposit-taking institution. So, we do have a pretty decent market share, right, which we're seeking to grow. But it's good to have such a strong institution like Victoria Mutual Building Society, owned by all our customers. All of these people operating in doing business, living and working in Jamaica, and many in the diaspora, owning this business and the business being run for their benefit. I would want Victoria Mutual to, during my tenure, make a real difference in financial inclusion in Jamaica, making it possible for many more Jamaicans to meaningfully participate in the financial sector, saving, but also borrowing to acquire their own homes. I think we have to keep working at ways to make a breakthrough in that respect. I'm driven by, I think, my personal convictions. My faith is very important.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
I'm driven by, I think, my personal convictions. My faith is very important. You know, there's a verse in Colossians that speaks to whatever work you're doing, work at it with all your heart as if working for the Lord and not for men, right? So I really commit to doing everything that I'm doing with a certain degree of excellence because, you know, I believe that this too is kingdom building. I mean, I think that God works through all of us, right? In helping to make the world a better place, in bringing more justice and righteousness. And I think that even in the financial sector that we can play a role in helping people to live better lives, and that drives me. Of course, I'm also driven by my family. I've been married to my wife, Pauline, for 29 years. I have a really great relationship. So she's a wonderful partner, a great support. We met at university, right? And so I see her as a great partner in this journey of life. My two sons, Adrian and Dominic, are also special. So we enjoy really good family times. And, you know, some of the things that I look forward to are just holidays as a family together. And we have had some wonderful times over the years, but not just holidays. Just going home during the week and spending time on weekends together is something that's special. I've grown a lot in terms of how to develop strategy, in terms of how to lead people, in terms of the ability to make tough decisions, right, and communicate tough, difficult decisions. So I've grown a lot in that respect. I've grown a lot in terms of how to network, in terms of how the responsibility of, you know, taking public positions, right, standing alone sometimes, unpopular positions. So I think all of those experiences have helped me to mature over the years. Over the years, I've been very involved in public service. So, well, first of all, through the church, I have served different congregations, Portmore United, Richmond United, Webster Memorial, in different roles in social outreach, in evangelism, in discipleship. I've served at the Knox College on the board of governors there. I've served as chairman of the National Education Trust, you know, and that's the arm of the Ministry of Education that's responsible for stimulating private sector investments in education. So I served as chairman of that body for 4 years, and during that time we completed the construction of several school expansions, but also a new school, Cedar Grove High School, and then we spent some time developing the business case and getting approval for a project to install solar energy, PV panels in 20 to 30 schools. I think for me, wealth, true wealth, is eternal. It's investing in things that last, investing in family, investing in people, you know, so that the things you sow in people will last beyond your lifetime, and also in how you help to build a kingdom that is, you know, reflected in love and peace and so on, some things that outlast you.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to part 2 of Business Access TV's coverage of Jamaica's largest electrical expo, the Electrical Expo right here at the Jamaica Pegasus, brought to you by Fosridge in partnership with Nexans and Siemens. I'm your host, Amita Prasad Webb. Please stay tuned for highlights.
So let's go with an exciting cable, an innovation from Nexans, the halogen-free cables. We are very, like in Nexans, interested in finding new solutions, safety solutions regarding cables. So I'm going to tell you a bit why. So, according to analysis, 98% of deaths due to fire are caused by suffocation and inhalation of toxic fumes. According to firefighting experts, more than 50% of the main causes are due to problems with electrical systems, electrical issues.
Easy to install cable solution for residential, industrial and public buildings. So what do we have? So that is in the agenda. So in practice, in a house, you have a different level of installation. Okay, you have the service entrance from the power networks, supply, distribution, and branch circuits. That's for a house. And for a building, it is that way. You also have from the public grid, then you have the service entrance, supply, distribution, and branch circuits. For all these parts, you need cables, no? to do the connections.
As to develop other categories, it's 6A and 7A, 10 giga. So it's a lot. And now Nexans is developing the 8A category of cables, which is higher, but it's used for what? For military applications. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but we need the signal is 0 and 1. Now we are developing quantic information that we can go to for four digits instead of 2. So that is the next generation. It's yet an application. It does exist, but for military industry. So it's very early stage technology. But in the future, you will all have your quantic computer. So it's for tomorrow. So it's terabytes, tera, not giga. So it's much more information.
Talk to us about the main points in your presentation today.
The main points were the safety-oriented cables, halogen-free cables, that doesn't allow the fire to spread. And the other point was the local area network telecommunication cables.
What's next for Nexans?
Next, we hope to get better brand awareness here in Jamaica, to grow together with Fosridge, and I expect to go back very soon to see you again.
Why did you attend?
Because the School of Engineering includes the electrical program, which is electrical engineering, and we are always interested in what equipment is available to Jamaicans to see how we can ensure that our students get the best experience.
I find science exciting, so it's a learning experience in terms of getting the information, understanding how simple things that we take for granted works. And so it is a good thing that people who, whether you work in the industry or not, it is something that you should learn and understand the things that are actually around you in terms of electricity and the things that you pass on the street. You are passing street lights, you're passing stop lights and so on, and you don't even understand how they really work. And these guys are the ones who will tell you what's the background to all of these things.
It's time for a quick break, but please stay with us more when we return.
You see island I wear, them are the best thing in the island I swear. Everywhere in the island I hear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about the place name island I wear. Them a say, island I wear. Them a say, island I wear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about island I wear.
Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day, at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply.
Island I wear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about island I wear.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The elite leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. There are some students here, quite a number of students here. Why is it important that students attend expos of this nature?
It is actually important because one of the things I've found is that we're actually in the information age, but unfortunately people, we do not crave information the way I believe it was craved in times past. And so students are very much in that space now where they need to open their minds' eyes and become a little bit more familiar with what is out there in the world. And of course the industry that we're in now, and in particular the energy efficient industry, because it's going to be impacting all of us, whether it is from a household standpoint or if it is from a business standpoint, all of us will be impacted in some way, shape or form. And so that is why it is quite important for students to be here to get this knowledge today in terms of the industry and its forward movement.
The information that's go across here today is very informative, and I learn a lot. I can take back all of this information, not just to the company, but also to my community. And I would advise that when we have program expo like this, a lot of business people who have maintenance managers should come and get all of these information so they can use it within the companies.
In the morning, a person comes to me and asks me if this is the smallest size or which are the sizes of the starters. Actually, you could see the starters just have three sizes in the complete model for the 3RW55 and also for 3RW52, and both are less than 200 millimeters by tip, so it's very tiny. So that the bigger one for 560 kilowatts, it's size 4, it's just this size, right? And also these starters has the 3RW55 has this innovative application that if you lose in one line a pair of thyristors, it still works with two-phase control. Just this one, the 3RW55. It means this product is robust, it's versatile, and it adapts to your applications. Okay, for the soft starter is enough.
Yeah, that's one question. How does the starter react to unbalanced input voltages?
Actually, these starters has the possibility to measure line by line the current, and also it could set a protection against unbalanced phase failure, ground fault, and also it's a natural protection. It's overload on up to class 30 in this one. So since class 10A, it means 7 seconds at 8 times the nominal current, and it could protect against low voltage supply. You said this lowest voltage it could supply, and it will respect that. This product has the possibility when you buy the Profinet solution, the Profinet module for the starters. That's it's an optional component. You are buying also a web server inside this component. So it means since your telephone, with your cell phone, you could access to the same web of this component, and you could check out which is the current, the instantaneous current, all the status, all the failures, and also you could check out if the unbalanced status is. Sorry? Yeah, with the web server. It's in parallel of the Profinet application, and also it has a special application for the model with two ports of Profinet, that you could establish an open communications protocol, OPC, with other components, and also with an HMI without any PLC. So you could set almost up to 8 starters to just one HMI, the comfort panel version of Siemens, without any PLC. The communication will be directly with this one to this one. And with Profinet, of course, it's a better communication. You need the PLC to display the status of the component in the panels. Let me say, this OPC application could be for local reviewing, and the Profinet could be for remote application, remote reviewing, and that's the point.
Talk to us about the main points of your presentation today.
Actually, the main point of our presentation is the possibility to reduce cost and downtimes in the industry, and it's important for the attendees to stay in the conference, because they will realize how to do these downtime reductions, and also they will realize how to do it and where to do it. So it's very important to reduce the cost of the implementation of a project, and also for reducing the time, for example, of a stop pump and stop motor.
Why is it important, or why is the information important for the attendees here today?
Because this information is used to communicate these smart control panels with a very bigger concept that is the Industry 4.0 that Siemens is managing worldwide. So they could see how it begins, and they will explain which the next steps of this concept.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights for you after this.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 fraud spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall.
Unsecured loans.
Alleged corruption.
Follows the closure. If they made this investment.
Brokers
strive to increase revenues.
He sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final numbers. Here's Garth. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale. Saturdays and Sundays.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Thanks for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, we are here at the Electrical Expo. Please stay tuned for more highlights.
So what is the meaning of this video equipment? What is the objective that we have? The first word is saving. We want to save money, we want to save space, we want to save energy. So this kind of equipment is going to make us a transparency to know how is our installation is. We create we establish in this principle that is the energy saving. We want to identify for me in my plan to have an energy saving. I have to know how is the plant, how is the management of the plant, how is the energy flow, where is my potential of energy saving, and measure it. Or even if I making a saving, we are going to measure it to realize that it's okay. We are going to be focused on how we start a motor. We have to switch on a motor, we have to protect the motor, and the new tendency is monitor the motor. So this is the different kind of starter that we can find in the industry. We have a direct online, the most basic starter. We have a reversing starter. If I want to change the direction of the motor, we have a star delta. Why a star delta? You know that a motor, when it starts, is going to consume like 8 times the nominal current of the motor. So the induction motor is the most popular use in the industry because it has low maintenance and is very versatile. But it has the problem with the start. So all the way to start a motor is going to reduce the voltage that we administer to the motor when it starts. In consequence, we are going to get down the current of the start. Also, the torque of the motor is going to be reduced. So this is the way to start a motor, reducing the field of the voltage. So the start delta is a start that you feel the 58% of the voltage in the start connection, and that's going to feed this 100% of the voltage in the delta connection. So you are going to be reduce the induction. You will find a different way to start a motor, but it's the same principle. You can start it with resistance, we start it with auto transformers, we can start it with star delta, or also with soft starter. But the principle is the same. Reduce the voltage to have less voltage, so you will have less current and less torque.
We present about the industrial controls, all the equipment required for manage a plant, an industrial plant, like industrial control cabinets, soft starters, contactors, a new line of push buttons. Also, we present a new tendency that we call the Industry 4.0, that is the bringing the Internet of Things to the control of the industry.
What are your thoughts thus far on the Electrical Expo?
We hope that everybody goes from here with a new knowledge, and also we want to share all the experience that things and solutions that we do in other countries. So we will be the first step to start to implement it here in Jamaica.
For those people who don't know, talk to us about Siemens and the brand overall.
Actually, Siemens do like everything. We're in the distribution energy with the power generation. We are in control for industry, energy management, and also we have a division for medical equipment.
The School of Engineering includes the electrical program, which is electrical engineering, and we are always interested in what equipment is available to Jamaicans to see how we can ensure that our students get the best experience.
We have some setups here in regards to what's available. What are your thoughts?
This is good. This is showing me some of the equipment that I do need and that I'm interested in for some of my students, yes.
Why is it important that students get involved and attend these types of expos?
My students who are graduating currently are seeking employment, and it does help them that they know the types of equipment are available. I know some of them are going into business for themselves, and they need to be exposed to what is available in Jamaica. And it does help because a lot of my students have been looking externally outside of Jamaica to purchase equipment or even to get employment. And it's good for them to see exactly what is here if they're going into business for themselves, who could be their suppliers, and they can advise other persons as well.
There are many individuals in Jamaica who want the products and services that Siemens and Nexans offer, but without a way of getting it here, and we found ourselves with the opportunity and we decided, hey, let's just go with it and showcase to Jamaica what is it that we can actually do for them. At Fostrich, our customers are always our main concern. We've always looked for ways in which we can improve the service and the product offerings that we have. And I think we pride ourselves on just being able to do that, and the fact that we have the customers at the forefront of our minds on any given day, which is every day of the week, because we're always looking for new and improved ways. And I dare say, because I don't think anybody can challenge me in this, that Fostrich is a trendsetter when it comes on to innovation and looking at finding products that are meaningful to how we live our lives and I mean, even with energy efficiency.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our 2-part coverage of the Electrical Expo. I've been your host, Amita Prasad-Webb, and thank you for tuning to Business Access TV, serious about business.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
The Jamaica Red Cross is a voluntary relief movement not prompted in any manner by desire for gain. They operate with a need to help. Caring Hands met with Dr. Dennis Edwards, president of the Jamaica Red Cross, at their visit to the community of Seawright Garden.
The Jamaica Red Cross is a humanitarian organization, first and foremost, and it is one of the national societies of the International Federation of the Red Cross and International Federation of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent, actually. And we are an auxiliary to the government of Jamaica since 1964, which means that by way of law, statute of parliament, we are obliged to support the government in anything the government might require us to do with respect to humanitarianism, particularly so in times of disasters. Consistent with the mandate of our international movement, our broad objective is to save lives, reduce human suffering, and preserve the dignity of people under any and all circumstances. As a part of the international movement, we are one of 190 societies around the world, with the society's origin way back 150 years ago out of a military war type event in Sofferino, a city in Italy, where our founder, Henry Donald, actually was very concerned about the wounded on the battlefield. Hence, the International Federation of the Red Cross was formed initially to assist wounded soldiers. And then from that, it propagated all across the world and actually became involved not only in times of war, but in times of peace where people are suffering. We have as our mandate, or maybe I can say our pillars, 7 main pillars. Our first principle being humanity, which is to say that whatever it is that affects humanity, we are concerned about that. Our second principle is impartiality. Okay, so we do not discriminate against anyone. Once a person is in need, person is suffering, we are obliged to assist that person irrespective of their circumstances. We are also having as another of our major principles, which is of neutrality. We do not take sides. Okay, we do not take sides in any instance of conflict or any instance of relief. We just serve whomsoever it is are in need, and we look out for the most needy to actually engage ourselves. Then we also have another principle, which is independence. While we are an auxiliary to the government and we assist and all like that, in our territory here of Jamaica, we actually operate independent of any partisan, independent of any religious, independent of any thought of being biased. So we're independent in all of our activities. We're also pretty much as one of another of our pillars, principles, volunteerism. We are a voluntary organization, not driven for reward or any such thing. We are all about helping humanity for the sake of humanity, not for the sake of rewards. And then we also are orienting ourselves towards unity. We seek to have people united as much as possible for the welfare of people, of the suffering peoples, as well as for the welfare of maybe the whole world. Unity is a big pillar of us. And then, of course, universality. In Jamaica, as well as in all nations, there is only one Red Cross. So while we have Red Cross branches around the country, it's just one Red Cross. So it's universal and it's open to all peoples in the country, as is the Red Cross movement, broadly speaking, open to all peoples around the world. And there are 109 societies around the world, originated, like I said, from back about 150 years ago, and there are over 100 million volunteers and members in the movement around the world. Our criteria to become a member is pretty simple, and the major criteria is a passion to serve humanity. But in that regard, though, we want to have people with that passion and consistent with that, people with integrity, people who are not driven by way of personal need, personal aggrandizement. And we therefore recruit from time to time, and people are free to actually approach us for membership. And there is a process, but we do, like when an individual is recommended and we get a chance to actually brief that person as to what the Red Cross is all about, and actually have an inauguration of membership where they can get a chance to understand what are the objectives, the principles of our movement. But our actual membership is pretty simple. You have the capacity to assist, and you are not in it for gain, and you are open to serving humanity. And I might insert that our membership is not confined to just persons who are physically and mentally able to assist. We are also open to persons who might say have disabilities and might want to subscribe and contribute to the development of peoples around them.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
The organization responds to the need that exists, and so our programs are built around that.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop, or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas Mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa-la-la-la-la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you, BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Deputy Director General at the Jamaica Red Cross, Loy Hugh, also oversees the operations of the society.
The organization responds to the need that exists, and so our programs are built around that. So we have evolved from we started as a branch of the British Red Cross in 1948, and at that time the major programs that we had would be feeding programs for people who are hungry, visiting the sick in hospitals, and we have, however, evolved to a society where crime and violence has become, so we have to have a violence prevention program. We have health that is in need, and there are poor health-seeking behaviors among people, and many activities that didn't exist before. And so we have disaster management, risk management we call it. We prevent, if we can, the disaster from occurring. We train individuals and ensure that the communities are equipped to deal with before, so that the impact of the disaster will be less and they can be more resilient and bounce back. So we work with the communities. In particular, we identify communities that are particularly vulnerable and work with them. But we try as far as we can to work with as many communities as resources allow. So that's disaster management. I talked a little bit about the health, but health also refers to HIV prevention, for example. We just had the Zika scare, and so we're involved in Zika prevention, educating and sensitizing people as to how to get rid of the mosquitoes and to develop good habits so that mosquitoes won't breed in their homes and areas where they are frequenting. We look at blood donor. We recognize that while it is not something that people like to do, the country needs it, and transfusions, when people need blood because motor vehicle accidents, they've lost a lot, we need to encourage people to have a bank, to have some, so it's not just at the time that you will need. And so we have a program where we encourage, especially young people, we call it Club 25 in there. So the drives include trying to make sure that before you're 25, try to make a number of donations, and they are rewarded. We give them certificates, etc., for encouraging people to give as well. So young people get a chance to assist others. In fact, the aim is to prevent human suffering overall, and so they're serving one another and they're doing what they can to provide aid and comfort to the sick and suffering, to link together all the children of the world in a chain of friendship. Those are some of the things that they have a mandate to do, and that's how we develop them. We give them skills so that they're able to do that and to make the country a better place. We did a little assessment of a number of communities when we wanted to start helping in various ways, and we discovered that this was a very vulnerable community on different fronts, so they needed assistance in different ways. The community disaster response, they wanted training in that and to be able to work, but they also have some poor health-seeking behaviors and some lack of some amenities that are critical to healthy living, and we work with them, but we're also working with them to appreciate and understand how to make change about the things that we are giving. So we're not just giving, we want you to learn and to understand why it is that that's important. So our field officer works on a daily basis with the community, working with sometimes with the youth, sometimes with the older ones, identifying persons who need skills, identifying, training them in first aid and other disciplines so that they can utilize it in the community. We again, because violence is an area that needs to be given all the attention we can, we want to reduce violence in the country. We want to in the communities as well, and once it becomes a part of you, then we can begin to see a change. So we were promoting, we're doing training in the community, but we also wanted to provide incentive, and in particular in Salt Spring, in St. James, that community has been identified with many different problems of violence and surrounding areas as well. And so we did the violence prevention training, working with the young people, and then offered a prize to the best essay and also the best poster that they could do. Interestingly enough, the young man who won was actually a victim because his stepfather was killed in violence, by violent means too. And he was touched and he made that claim. You know, he said it, that he wanted to do that because it touched his own life, and so he wanted to see how we could make. And we are glad that we're able to make the difference, but we continue. We keep working, and where we are able to offer incentives, we do. Around the world, there are some days that the Red Cross observe with each other. So anywhere you are in the world, that's happening on that particular day. And so on the second Saturday in September, and we started this recently, I would say perhaps certainly since this century, we have designated that day, the second Saturday, as World First Aid Day. What we're trying to do is to bring attention to the fact that everybody can be first aid trained. Everybody should be aware, because lives are being saved by persons. It's not just the paramedics and the doctors and so on, with all respect, but what is done before they get to that point is usually life-saving. And so we want to call people's attention to the need for everyone to be first aid trained, as many persons as possible.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
The main aim of this project is to build community resilience, and an assessment was conducted that would have unveiled some of the challenges which this community is facing.
With another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we knock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa-la-la-la-la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you, BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop, or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Donald Sham is the field coordinator at the Jamaica Red Cross. His job is to coordinate the activities under the Jamaica Red Cross's Resilience in the Americas project. He has been actively engaging the community of Seabright Gardens since 2014.
The main aim of this project is to build community resilience, and an assessment was conducted that would have unveiled some of the challenges which this community is facing. And the RETA project focuses on 4 geo-communities across Jamaica. So in Kingston and St. Andrew, we focus on Mavis Bank and Seabright Gardens. And in St. James, we focus on Salt Spring and Stonehenge. Now for the Seabright Gardens community, we know that when we did the IPA, the Integrated Participatory Assessment, and as well as with the input of some of the community members, we discovered that they had water and sanitation challenges, right? So what the intervention that we employed as a means of mitigating or eliminating this problem was the FAST training, and this is the Participatory Hygiene and Sanitation Transformation, or the WASH, Wash, Water and Sanitation Hygiene. So these are our course, our training that we'll be conducting every month, and we have also done a complete course as well with the mother, the parents and everybody, but then we'll also be rolling out where we teach persons proper hygiene, water and sanitation practices so that we can eliminate the issue of transferring of germs and water, vector-borne disease and stuff like that, so we can tackle the hygiene and sanitation issues that we have been having in Seabright Gardens. As well, we would have also done some work on the communal bathrooms because some of them were in a deplorable condition, so we would have gone in and would have installed new toilets, showers, we would have also done some painting and just general refurbishing, changing out of the doors, painting the bathrooms and giving them a facelift. Yes, so that is how we would have tackled that problem. And then we've also, in addition to the FAST, we also did the CDRT training where we just had display the CDRT team. But then again, we also did some scholarships because one of the things that we discovered in the IPA, the assessment, was that there are children who are leaving school and they are just hanging out, loitering on the street, not having anything to do in the daytime. So we provided grants for persons so that they could further enhance their capacity in terms of skills training. So recently we just had 7 persons who received vocational and skills training grants to attend the St. Pius Training Center coming September. Yes, and in addition to this now, the projects have lifespans, right? And after the RETA project has ended, we'd want continuation of the interventions that we came in and did. So what we did was that we installed a community-based organization. The CDRT team is the core of that, right? So what this community-based organization will do now is that they will take on the interventions. They are the ones who will take over on the interventions that the RETA project came in with, right? So they are the ones who are now going to ensure that the communal bathrooms are up. These persons are also training FAST as well, so they can go around and conduct FAST sessions. So they are basically going to be filling the booths that we would have left on. So we gave them a start and they are going to be continuing on what we started. And the CDC, the Seabright Garden CDC, the Community Development Committee, they are going to be the parent company that oversees this organization to ensure that the organization stays together. So they will have monthly meetings. So after the RETA project has ended, these initiatives would be in safe hands as it relates to continuation and development. And these persons would have received training in meeting management, leadership skills, proposal writing. So if there are any issues in the community and they have a project that they want to take on, the SDC, which is one of our partners, the Social Development Commission, would have come in and done some capacity building as a means of empowering these individuals so that they can be able to manage the affairs of their community effectively and to build their community resilience and to take over and just to operate as an organization within themselves and to take care of the community and uplift the community, and in doing so empowering themselves. That was a demonstration on the CDRT team. That was one of the interventions that the RETA project, the Resilience in the Americas project, has carried out in Seabright Gardens. As you know, resilience is about being able to bounce back after natural disasters. So the main aim of this project is to build community resilience. So that is one of the aspects now. An IPA would have been conducted within the community. That is an integrated participatory assessment. And from this IPA, we would have uncovered some challenges that the community is facing. And one of the interventions that we undertook was to install a CDRT team in the community, just in the event of a natural disaster, that these members are able to act as first responders. So these persons are trained in first aid, light search and rescue operation, and the like. So in the event of a natural disaster, they are the ones who would respond first, because whenever you have a natural disaster, roads are deemed impassable and the other external emergency services may not gain immediate access to the community. So it is very wise that you have educated individuals in the community who can act in emergency cases and to cater for the community members until outside helps arrives. So what we saw there was a display of the CDRT team members. They a fainting scenario where somebody faints and they put them in a recovery position. Yes, and as I said before, they are trained in light search and rescue operation, cardio, CPR, cardio, pulmonary resuscitation and the like. So these persons can act in the case of an emergency. And one of the successes that we have of this training was that these persons are certified first aiders. So outside of a disaster happening in the community, in the day-to-day running of the community, somebody may get in an emergency situation and yes, choking and as irregular fires, burnouts, and these persons are trained to respond in these scenarios. So this is in the essence, the true essence of building community resilience, because we have persons in the community who are trained in first aid who can cater for the community and act in emergency cases until outside help arrives. In the event of an emergency, someone gets a cut or there are burns and somebody needs emergency assistance, that kit is equipped with the necessities that can take care of that person in any emergency situation. Yeah, so that is basically the first aid kit, what it contains. Yes, and these persons are also equipped with CPR masks, so in the case that they have to do any cardiopulmonary resuscitation, they can put it over the person's head and do what they have to do. The persons get flashlights, they get a chainsaw, whenever, because in a disaster situation, you know, there may be trees or debris blocking the road, so this person can use the chainsaw to remove debris. They have the shovels, the machetes, the pickaxe that they can use to conduct their operation in the event of an emergency. These persons have gotten gloves, protective goggles, they got a bullhorn, hard hats, they are equipped with vests. So in addition to getting a team, a main kit, they also have individual kits as well that they can respond effectively in case of emergencies. Normally, some of the myths are associated with the faints. They say you should get a shoe and put over their mouth, you should slap the person, make the person smell salt, but they are proper procedures. Those are just myths. And if you go there, somebody faints and you go and you slap the person, you may cause additional damage. So this was just basically the person checking for breathing. Somebody faints, there are correct procedures in which you have to follow. So you go there, you check for breathing, you tilt, you hold the chin and you tilt the head back to open the airway so that the person can breathe effectively. You go there now, so you check for breathing, you check if the person is responding. So once the person is breathing and there's a pulse, you know that the person has just fainted. So you'll just put the person in a recovery position until the person is fully revived. But if there's no breathing and the person is unconscious, then you'll perform CPR on that person until emergency services arrives. So you do CPR until you get an ambulance.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
Diane Plummer, and I'm the CEO of True Shade Cosmetics Limited. I was studying mechanical engineering in Sweden, and as a black woman living in a predominantly white population, it was very difficult for me to find makeup for my own skin tone. So most times when you go to the department stores or you go to the pharmacies there, all the shades for the black girls have finished because very few black women are there rushed to get all the different shades. So having a background in chemical engineering, I just decided, you know, I should be able to make my own makeup. So I started to do some personal researching and then started to develop makeup right there in my dorm room. The business actually started in 2013, the research aspect of it. So I did research for about 1 year, and then I officially started making products in 2014. True Shade Cosmetics Limited actually started with making foundations and loose powders. Then I decided to start making other products that are generally found in a cosmetics line. So I started with the bronzers, the blush, and then I did the eyeshadows and other supporting products. Now I also started in skincare because I believe that you should definitely take care of the skin beneath the makeup. So, you know, everybody wants this whole flawless finish, but what happens when you wipe that makeup off? You still want to feel like, oh yes, I have a flawless skin. So I started skincare products as well. The skincare line consists of several masks and serums. There's also face wash, and I use as much local ingredients as possible. So I take advantage of aloe vera. I mean, our grandmothers have always told us that aloe vera is very good for the skin. I also use a lot of lemongrass, coconut, and of course our hemp. It's very, very good. Another interesting product that came up out of a personal need for me was my translucent mousse. So I have very oily skin, and back home in Jamaica now the place is hot and I'm sweating and I'm shiny. So I wanted something that could give me a nice matte finish. So I came up with a translucent mousse, which is basically threefold. You can wear it alone, you know, to give it that nice cool look that we all want sometimes. And it gives you, you know, it just zaps away the oil from your face, and it's something that I'm really, really proud of, and it's actually one of my best sellers as well. I want True Shade to be a natural line, something that uses a lot of local ingredients as well, and a lot of the natural products are suitable for persons who have sensitive skin and eczema. So another thing that I want to be at the forefront of my line is the fact that vegan products. So I don't use any kind of animal testing at all, and I'm actually submitting documents to a UK agency to ensure that I have that cruelty-free stamp on all my products. So I'm an animal lover, and I definitely believe in saving the bunnies, and you know, a lot of these tests that they use on animals is it's a bit cruel. So in going for cruelty-free status, I know I'll be, you know, saving an animal somewhere, right? And also appealing to, you know, persons who are also animal lovers. So I cater to persons of not only sensitive skin, but for all skin types and tones. So I wanted your True Shade to be very personalized for everyone. So there's about 23 different shade formulations that exist, and out of those 23, there are about 8 active shades in Jamaica. I also do custom shade formulations for persons who have difficulty finding their correct shade of makeup. And generally that's for persons on both ends of the spectrum. So very, very light skinned persons and very, very dark skinned persons always have a difficulty finding their correct shade. So I cater to basically everyone because the products are made in-house, so we do customizations as well. Since 2013 up until the middle part of 2016, it was all funded out of pocket. So it was money from my savings and of course family members, close friends who were able to, you know, maybe let's say buy a mixer for me, purchase some ingredients, things like that. So it all started out of pocket and, you know, with friends and family. And in the latter part of 2016, I was awarded the Ignite grant from the Development Bank of Jamaica, and that would be used to procure more upgraded equipment and also packaging, and to just refine the whole look and feel of the brand, and also increase the capacity, production capacity. As a new company, it will take some time before you actually start seeing the profits, but I think it's in a very good position, because my vision for Your True Shade is for it to be the leading brand in cosmetics in the Caribbean and its diaspora. And of course, the diaspora spans all across the globe. So I do, you know, in my future, I do see great profitability for my company. Currently, products are available at Discount Beauty in Kings Plaza. We also have selected products available at Rev Jewelry. There's Divine Living Essentials in Montego Bay. And we've recently wrapped up discussions with Fontana to have products in the Fontana locations in Kingston and Montego Bay. We also have products in Barbados at Welsh Wear. And there's a small section in Japan where a Jamaican lady that's there, she actually buys products from me to sell over there in Japan. And of course, my e-commerce website, yourtrueshade.com. Persons can buy products all across the world. It started out as a one-woman show, right? But I get help from my brother, and I recently got 2 interns thanks to JSIF. So Kenisha and Tashika they just joined me, so they helped me with not only the makeup application aspect, but also in the production side as well. I think it's a pretty good atmosphere where, you know, persons, they can share different ideas. You know, if something is wrong, then they can say something. So it's a very open door kind of policy that I have. And, you know, I really want that, because I'm growing as an entrepreneur, and they're also growing in their different careers, and they may see something that I don't see, and I can also impart knowledge to them as well. So it's a field where we both learn from each other. Well, because I also lecture chemical engineering at UTech, my days are structured where I lecture about 15 hours a week at UTech, and the remaining hours I would work, you know, whether it's in production, whether it's, you know, liaising with suppliers, making sure that the stores have products. So my typical day when I'm working with True Shade would start off with me making my to-do list. What are the things that I need to get done today? Who are the persons I need to call? What's the social media looking like? Things like that. And I also try to delegate certain activities so I can work more on my business. I'm the kind of person where when I'm working on something, I just dive straight into it. And because of that, certain things may get left behind. So, you know, for me, striking that balance was always a bit difficult, because, you know, I've been known to be a workaholic. So what I've decided to do, and what I've started doing, is to block out certain periods of my calendar that are just my time, and nobody can touch my time. True Shade cannot touch my time when it's on those specific days, because balance is very important. And, you know, even though, yes, you want to work a lot on the business, you still need to make time for the persons who have been there for you, and, you know, family and friends, and, you know, go and socialize, things like that. So I block out selective times in my calendar for those kinds of activities.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and they say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We are serious about the business of real estate, so catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
So there are several different products in the line, and of course we started out with our foundation. So it offers medium to full coverage, and it has concealing properties and also SPF 15. So even though we do have our sunscreen, you still get some amount of protection from the foundation itself. So what makes True Shade unique is the fact that it's suitable for persons with sensitive skin and eczema. So that's the main reason why I started the line as well, because I also have very sensitive skin. I have very bad eczema. So whenever I would use certain brands, I would get a little breakout here and there. So I wanted something that would not irritate my eczema and something that would offer me good coverage and very light and breathable. So that is what separates your True Shade from any other brands out there. I generate new ideas by looking at what's there in industry. You have to keep up to date with what's happening in industry. So I would research, let's say from in the latter part of, let's say last year, what are the upcoming 2017 makeup trends? And then I would start working on things like that. What are the spring trends, summer trends, winter and fall? So, you know, just keep abreast of what is happening in industry. When I just started, of course, I didn't have any customers. So I started to go to some of these trade shows, the different events where I could rent a booth, rent a table space. And once I'm there, I basically have my computer, or I would have a tablet, and my assistant or myself would collect data from persons, and I would send them a newsletter, send them a WhatsApp as to what's happening, and I will basically grow the business from there. We also make a lot of use of social media as well, our Instagram or Facebook, and I do corporate visits because that's very important for me, because going into the working world, persons are there, those are the persons who basically have the spending ability. So I do a lot of corporate visits to different companies as well. One of the main challenge that I had was, I mean, I know most entrepreneurs say that financing is the major problem. Yes, that is a major problem, but I'm gonna also talk about something else. One of the other major problems that I had was to get persons to believe in the brand, to basically buy into the brand. So, you know, that is very difficult to convince persons, and a lot of Jamaicans, they're very set in their ways. You know, as it's a lot of consumers, you know, they're used to a particular brand. What sets you apart from, you know, the other brands that they're used to for, let's say, 5-10 years. So that's, you know, that has been a bit difficult for me. But once someone sits in my chair and they try the product, they're sold. They love it. So, and then I'll be able to, you know, grow the brand from there. As with any new product, I mean, sometimes it may be a hit and miss. So you have to keep revamping as you go along. So maybe when I just started making some of my foundations, maybe they didn't have enough coverage and things like that. But then you learn along the way from reviews, from clients, reviews from, you know, other makeup artists who have used it. And then I was able to further develop and work on it so that it can not only, you know, stand true to being something for sensitive skin and eczema, but also be able to give you that nice flawless finish that they would have been used to wearing, you know, with their other makeup brands. So, I mean, I've learned from it by just trial and error and customer feedback as well. I mean, we're all human, we're all prone to making mistakes, right? So let's say, you know, something happens with a product and a client calls me about it, then I would of course apologize for the inconvenience, and then I would, let's say, maybe I'd offer them a free gift, or let's say a 10% discount on future purchases and things like that. So that's how I try to do my damage control if there's any mistakes or mishap with products. So one of the things that I really want to do is to have an expansion into the different parishes, because for me to stay true to my vision in being the leading cosmetic brand of the Caribbean, I would need to basically penetrate the different areas of the Caribbean, right? So my strategy is to market penetration, going into the different islands through the different trade shows, things like that. There are selective shows that I like to go to. So let's say Jamaican Made Christmas in December, that was very successful for me. Also Collection Moda as well. And there are different companies often have their wellness expos. I tend to love doing corporate events, as I had said before. And of course, I always try to reach out to media personnel to, let's say, to see if they want me to be on their morning program, a feature in the newspapers, things like that. So I try to use all media, all marketing platforms as well. I mean, I'm willing to, work very hard in my business, doing what's best for the business as well, regardless. And, to basically ensure that I stand true to what my vision is, which is to be the leading cosmetic brand of the Caribbean and its diaspora. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes, working very hard, maintaining the customer relations as well, doing my networking with different companies and individuals and different organizations as well. I do believe that there is a structure or a pattern to being a successful entrepreneur. So the main thing for that is to just be resilient, never give up. No matter how many persons tell you no, that can lead you, that just means you're closer to someone telling you yes. And even if persons keep telling you no, just once you believe in yourself and seek out all the options that are there, try and network with persons, try and get a mentor, things like that, then you will definitely be on a path to success. Success for me is being able to help others, because using a business such as a beauty care business, you're helping persons to basically accentuate their beauty, to feel a lot better about themselves. So success for me is to helping others to feel better about themselves. I like to channel whatever I'm feeling into making something, into doing something. So if I'm feeling a fear that, okay, maybe this is not going to be successful, then I work a lot harder on it. So I just try to channel whatever I'm feeling into, let's say, creating a new product, creating a new look, coming up with something new. So I try to channel whatever I'm feeling, even if it's fear.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and they say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
different skin cleansers that I spoke about. This one is our Red Clay skin cleanser. So it's basically like a face detox. So it's a foaming cleanser. So you won't have to worry about, you know, lathering itself. It actually already comes in the airless pump that can already give you the foam.
I'm motivated by being, you know, a pioneer of something. So being the first person to actually start a makeup line in Jamaica that is actually made here, you know, that's such a good thing. You know, it's a good feeling to know that, okay, I'm written somewhere down in history. So, you know, I'm motivated by being a pioneer and, you know, of course, helping other persons as well. I know this is going to sound very typical, but I think my greatest inspiration is definitely my mother. There are days when I feel like, oh, I just can't do this anymore in terms of, you know, trying to get persons to buy into the brand. And she's like, Diane, don't let me ever hear you say that again. You know, she got really upset with me for even thinking something like that. So, you know, she is, you know, a very good inspiration for me. And, you know, she gives me a lot of motivation and to keep pushing because, you know, as entrepreneurs, we're supposed to be resilient. And it's good that, you know, you can have persons to rely on. You know, there are days when you feel like, boy, you know, you just really can't be bothered with this. You know, and to have someone there who is a family member, close friend, who can basically push you along, it's a very good feeling. And my favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur right now is basically meeting all these different kinds of persons and, you know, being able to share the brand with other persons, get insight from them. And, you know, for me, just being able to meet other persons and, you know, just learn from other persons, especially older persons or older, not only in terms of their age, but also in terms of their life as a business person. And, you know, for them to relate to you tips, you know, things that you should really look out for. For me, it's a very important thing. I would basically attribute my growing success, because I'm not there yet, I'm on my way, to, you know, having a good support system. And also to, you know, my belief in God, to know that everything will work out. As long as I push forward, you know, and do my part, then, you know, God will do the rest, as long as it's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I basically, you know, I commit my business to God and say, you know, Lord, just use this to the greater glory and honor of your name. And, you know, having a good support system from family and close friends, that's also very important for me. The most satisfying moment thus far is being a recipient of the 2016 DBJ grant, which would definitely grow my business and take it to the next level, take it to where I definitely see your true shade. You know, so I can basically get upgraded packaging to create all the wonderful makeup that's out there, not just the foundations, powders, but to create my own eyeshadows, things like that. Also to get cutting-edge equipment that can increase my capacity and being able to supply the Caribbean, European countries, Asia. That's, you know, that's what I want. My hobbies, currently I wanted to have a more balanced lifestyle. Because before I was such a workaholic, working so much, doing the lecturing at UTech and doing True Shade stuff and, you know, forgetting about taking care of myself sometimes. So with blocking out my calendar, I can say, okay, I started Sprite training. So I've started the gym. Working out is a very good feeling. And, you know, once I push my body a lot, then I'd be able to say, okay, you know, there's nothing I can't do. There's no stress that's there that I haven't felt, you know, in the gym. So that's something that's new for me. I also spend quality time with my family and close friends, maybe going for a drink, going to dinner, and just, you know, just sitting at my mommy's place and just lying down on her bed and just chatting and joking with my two brothers, things like that. Yeah, what makes me happy is basically knowing that my mother is okay, knowing that, you know, I will be able to take care of her and so on. Another thing that makes me happy is traveling. I love to travel. I've been to almost all of the European countries and I want to travel a lot around Asia and things like that. So traveling makes me very happy. The sacrifice that I had to make
to, you know, get my company to move to where I want it to be, because I'm not there yet. The first one was to basically get up and leave Jamaica and decide to go into a foreign country that I don't know anyone. And, you know, if I didn't make that initial step, then there would be no Your True Shade at this moment. So I think that is one of the major sacrifices I had to do. Leave my job, you know, and go to a foreign country. Being here, back home in Jamaica, the sacrifice that I still have to make is to, you know, a lot of times friends call you up, oh, you know, let's go here. And I'm like, you know, I really can't because I need to work on this project in my company. You know, sacrificing a lot of these personal time, especially in the initial stages. You know, sacrificing in terms of, you know, saving the money, because the money that I can use to go to a very expensive party, or, you know, that could basically buy me some nice packaging, that could buy me some ingredients. So a lot of those sacrifices I had to make in the initial stages because my funding came straight out of pocket to actually start a company. So of course I had to make a lot of sacrifices financially for it to happen. My future plans for True Shade would be to basically have an expansion into the different areas of cosmetics, because currently I don't make all the things that you would find in a cosmetic line. So I want to be able to make all these things right here in Jamaica so that, you know, I can say Your True Shade basically has all the things that are necessary in a cosmetic line. Not only the foundation and the powders, bronzers and blushes, but to move into the mascaras, pencils, all these things, and just to see my brand out there and, you know, that everybody will be using everything from the line, from the skincare part to the makeup section. So my advice to any person who is desirous of starting a business is to, you know, basically narrow in as to what exactly you want to do. What would be your target market, right? Come up with a plan. I love to make my little to-do list. I like to make my little plans, and I have so many different books that have so many things written down in them. So it's just to come up with a clear plan, seek advice from persons. So one of the things that I did when I came back to Jamaica was to seek out all the different agencies that are out there. I went to JBDC. I was able to get business advice. I found out about the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship and became one of the Branson entrepreneurs, and that was a very excellent program for me. I also sought out the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, and because I'm a manufacturer, they would basically guide me as to what are the things I need to do as it relates to customs, as it relates to trade board, things like that. Join other organizations, for example, the Women's Entrepreneurship Network of the Caribbean. So anywhere that you can go that you can get a lot of information about developing not only as a business person, but developing as an individual, and you can basically network with other persons as well. So once you come up with a clear idea, seek out how you can achieve these, and then make sure that you join different associations and meet with different persons as well.